and Dave, and soon to be, hopefully, Big Brian. No Steve tonight. We're missing him. Get well, Steve. We'll see you very soon. But for now, just your two favorite bearded bros, Mike and Dave. Mikey, what's going on, buddy?
You know, I I think I'm good. I
Nice.
think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Don't think
I it
otherwise.
had a I had a great weekend, man. I'm wearing my game win hat.
Yeah.
This is the hat I wear during the week when we win. The hat you got me is now my new Sunday hat.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that your
Uh,
game loss hat or what? What?
no, it's my
What's
new
your
Sunday hat. It's game day hat. It's during the game hat.
all right? Very
I'll
nice.
tell you what I did this weekend, which I've been thinking about for a long time, but I never put it into action. Then just kind of forgot about, which is start to build an outdoor entertainment area, like kind of like you have at your place that you
Sure.
did a few years ago.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to initially do it like in my garage and build a bar inside my garage.
Hmm.
Um, since we moved into the house, it's just like we acquired so much stuff that here we are.
Yeah.
Um,
And garages get crappy quickly too, right?
yeah, for sure. Um, and so I was cleaning off the deck and I was just like, hot damn, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can just move some of these chairs up off the stone patio that we built
Hmm.
and pull out my little 32-inch TV and see how this whole thing works. And by God, got to watch I got to watch my Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Saturday, and on Sunday I got to watch my Washington Commanders, and then today I got to watch Champions League games.
Nice. Well, it helps that the weather cooperated as well. Like we've had a nice little run here for the past long while, I guess I should say.
This is kind of why I did it, is because we had this nice run of
Yeah.
good weather, and I'm just like, God damn, I was just so happy to get out there and give it a shot. And now what we're gonna do is we're putting an awning up anyway. But we're gonna do an awning, and I'm gonna mount a TV out there, and we're gonna have the entertainment area. Oh, and Brian just disappeared. He was here for a second.
Brian was here. He was here. Maybe
Hmm.
he was. Maybe we because we didn't acknowledge him because we were trying to let you finish. He thought we couldn't see him. Possibly.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a curious curious dilemma. Curious question.
Yeah. So anyway, oh, there he is
Hey,
again.
there's
Rhode Islander in chief. So anyway, um, so anyway, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. I got to watch my Champions League games today, and I was like, hot damn, I can't wait for the spring now.
very
We
nice.
got the plan. It's gonna be in motion, and I don't know what I'm gonna do to the stone patio now. I think that might be the actual grill area.
Ah, well, you could do worse, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. Also, we have no more children's sports for like 2 weeks.
For 2 whole weeks. Ooh, so exciting.
2 full weeks.
Yeah.
2 full weeks.
Well, that'll go quickly, I'm sure. Something will come up to fill that time without question.
I'm sure.
Speaking of filling time, Brian, you've been a busy little fella. How are you, man?
Yes, I have.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is always, one of my absolute favorite things to do. So I appreciate the invitation. Yeah, I've been on the road. So in the spring, I was on the road. I only had 1 week where I didn't spend a single night in a hotel from April 28th to July 7th.
Hmm.
And now I went from whatever that last week of August, the week of the 25th, which is my mom's birthday. That was the start of it, and I didn't have a single week where I wasn't going somewhere between then and this is the first week. I'm just totally no travel, no nothing. So not bad. October 22nd. Better late than never. But it was all productive. It was great. Several of those trips were up to the great state of Vermont. I was at Stowe for a bit, and then I got to play in the Vermont Credit Union's golf tournament, which was at Vermont National in South Burlington. It was
Nice.
beautiful.
Oh shit, that's
Jack Nicklaus course.
yeah. He designed that shit.
It's classy. That is a class. You can just tell there are lots of nice courses out there that are like well maintained by people who are golf fanatics, but it's just like hey man, it doesn't change the fact that you're just, you're still in Oklahoma City. And like, which is like a
We
terrible.
just lost our
world to-
Oklahoma City
Yeah.
listener.
Damn it. We blew that.
Dozens of the Oklahoma City market, but man, Vermont National class act. But anyway, so I've had a great time. It's been hard being away from the fam, but gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta get your face out there if you want to kind of achieve some things. So at least in my line of work. So that is what I've been trying to do. Also all this travel makes it so that even when I do get nice invitations from you guys to come on the pod, I'm like, I will be sitting down to a dinner with clients at X time. So happy that that's all done. And hopefully I can be a more, if I am deemed so worthy, a more frequent invitee for the middle part of the season before the season gets crazy again.
Well, we'll take it to the board. We'll have a conversation at that level, and we'll see. But I think things are looking up, Brian. I think they're looking up.
I will go full Robert's Rules of Order on your ass if necessary. So,
dude, I know those backward and forward, man. Let's go.
Sorry,
Probably-
guys, my volume just cut out. Pardon me.
No worries.
You're still
Can you hear me?
recording. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, so Brian, I just heard some really cool information. Brian jumped out, and he'll be jumping back on.
Techno Brian, I think is what we
Techno Brian. I don't know. We got to make sure that all of this shit gets uploaded because it's going to be in like 4 fucking
Oh,
parts.
because he bounced. That's right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
right.
We'll fix it. Anyway,
Hey, there we go.
yeah.
So, Mike, you heard some really cool information that you wanted to share.
Yeah. So, Brian, I heard some cool information
Yes.
the other day, and I just want to confirm it with you. Your very own Rhode Islanders.
RIFC.
Yeah, RIFC got to first season, made the playoffs. No matter what happens, they made
It's
the
kind of
playoffs
incredible.
in the USL Championship.
Actually, it's literally unprecedented. All of the most recent expansion teams in USL Championship, none of them have made this, I guess, the playoffs in their first season, but just confirms what those of us who have seen as many games as we possibly could thought, which is that is a special group of guys out there. They're really, they are grooving. They got grit. They fight it out. They're creative. They're energetic. They've been remarkably healthy, which is like knock on wood. May all of the energetic and creative teams that we love stay healthy. I think is a major concern.
They're also like the draw champions of the world, apparently.
Yes, yeah, more. I guess they broke the record for draws.
The USL Championship.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's that's interesting, and certainly it felt like it. I will say there were a bunch of hard-won draws in there, like points that had to reach into the dragon's mouth to get 1 point out of that draw, and there were the classic, people who don't watch soccer obsessively like we do. It was hard for me before this obsession came into my life for me to truly appreciate that you can have an absolutely riveting 0-0 draw. Right, like a true contest of equals with drama and chances and heroic saves and like all that stuff. And RIFC definitely had several of those where they punched above their weight class with some of the heavyweights in USL Championship. And yeah, I mean, as I'm one of my best buddies is an investor in the team. He's obviously elated, but as someone who invested at least in season tickets and season tickets for next year, you couldn't be more proud. It's a great start to what we hope is a legendary franchise.
I take it you chose your seats wisely.
I hope. I mean,
strategically.
It is
the new stadium.
One hopes that if you're going to build the single most expensive non-MLS stadium in the whole country, that there shouldn't be a bad seat in the house.
Right.
So hopefully I couldn't have screwed this up too badly, but we shall see.
We shall see.
But it is official. I think they are on track to do all of next season there. They did. This season was all at Bryant University in Smithfield, Rhode Island, and they say right now they're on track. there is no option to select your tickets at Barony Stadium, which
That's going to be awesome, though.
yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, I did. I've made inquiries through my friend who's much more connected than I am, and if we would so like, as a visiting podcast team, long story short, it was like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yes, you can have access to the media facilities inside the clubhouse if we were to do an on the road episode. So I'm just throwing that out there as that could be a fun little road trip for Ye Old Wicked Spursies podcast.
That could be very fun. Yeah, I'm game.
I am too.
But anyway, yeah. So thank you for asking.
Mike, staying in the lower leagues, any Vermont Green scuttlebutt to share? You got anything going on in that world?
Not right now. We're looking toward the MLS Super Draft coming up at the end of the college season. Looking to see what Yaniv Bazzini does. He's probably going to get drafted somewhere in the mid first round. That doesn't speak. I mean, Musa Ndiaye is having a wonderful college season as well. And he's going to end up probably getting drafted in the first round. Outside of that, I would love to see where there's some talk about maybe Reed Fisher coming back, a couple of the Scher Drexler coming back from Norway, Drexler. Got to meet his dad this year. The great people. They endured a little bit of hardship during the season with not getting the playing time and that kind of stuff, and dad not being able to get over here, and he was, he had the missing home, kind of a thing. So he ended up having a great performance in the playoffs, great performance at Western Mass to end the season. So hopefully pretty soon we'll start hearing little bits of information coming out about that club. But speaking
is
of
that why the season is kind of staggered like that? That it's
it's built around the college.
Okay,
season.
Yeah, that was exactly my question.
It's basically like the wood bat baseball leagues in the summer.
It's a summer league, right?
It's a summer league.
Yeah.
It's the Cape League for soccer.
Yeah, except these kids, a lot of these kids get drafted directly into the MLS. The real good ones.
I watched a UVM match a couple weeks ago, and Bazzini, that dude just scores. Like he really just scores. I mean, that's not all he does, but he scores.
Yeah, our TV and radio announcer Brian McLaughlin calls him the man who will not stop scoring.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He's a big tall guy with good footwork, great hold up play in the box. He's a prototypical like big man striker, and he gets his head on the ball too. So
very nice.
He'd be good for. No, he wouldn't actually. We don't need him.
We don't need him. All right, there's the pivot. Let's
not in our Tottenham Hotspur.
Let's go to the big club. Good weekend. After a bad one before. What'd you see, Mike? What'd you think about as you watched that match?
A couple of things that really stood out. I think that Ange absolutely finally did what I want him to do, is like get his subs right.
Yeah, you, especially the halftime sub, you were fighting for it, and boom, it happened.
Well, after the first goal got scored, I obviously said I'm sick of this shit.
Mm-hmm. You were your Mike reactionary self. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm still sick of this shit. Right. I'm sick of seeing the ball watching. Right. So like the Ange's system is such that like when you have the ball and you're attacking, it's really good. It's really fun to watch. It's really sexy, but it's also really, really bad when you get caught out. Right. Mm-hmm. And any defensive lapses at all in this team, whether it's Basuma, playing in the number 6 role, or whether it's, Romero, Van de Ven, Porro, or Dogi, you get found out really quickly. And so it's just the pitfalls and the perils of the system itself. and I think that's, people want this, win now type of an attitude, and we're in it right now. I think at least the three of us are in it for the long haul. We don't need to win now. We understand that this is going to build and this is going to take some time, and to fit all the pieces of the puzzle in, and for people to understand what the system is about. This is what we have to do. We have to go through these growing pains. We have to understand that the system is very, very rewarding, but it can also take away a little bit, it's, from you. So in that, I don't think, like, with the substitution at halftime, I think that it was very important that Decky scored before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't fucking just sit back and do whatever. I think they got a little too excited about what they saw out of Brighton coming out of halftime, or they would have, or they did, maybe, I guess, which is, we can get these guys straight out of the half because they're not ready to go straight out of the half. But I think that Decky makes that goal, makes it 1-1, so they can't just sit back, right? They have to come out and play. 2, the substitution, I think, was not necessarily about what Madison wasn't doing. It was more about what Decky wasn't actually able to do, if that makes any sense.
Go further with that.
So, Decky was playing not necessarily that hybrid 10 role, that dual 10 role with Madison.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying, because of the quality that West Ham has, and let's admit it, West Ham, their squad, easily a top 4 or 5 squad, right?
You'll recall a certain guest actually put them in his top 4 at the start of the season.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that a lot of what happened was Decky is not like Papsar. I think, and we were getting caught out a lot because of the fact that Decky doesn't have the speed and doesn't have the ability to track back and play defense the way that Papsar does, to help out Bissouma at that number 6 spot, right? So Decky is better at holding the ball. He's better at being strong on the ball. He's better at being creative. So taking Madison out, bringing Papsar in to be a helper for Bissouma is, for me, I think much better, because we know that Papsar, when he's out on the field, defensively, he's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
He's an interceptor of the ball. He's a guy who's going to win balls in the midfield, constantly, consistently, and he works better with Bissouma than say a Decky will, which gave Decky more freedom to be creative and roam around that midfield and drop a little deeper, come forward when he had to. And Decky was all over the place. I think we talked about Pedro Porro being early season man of the season. I think Decky has taken that role and grabbed it by the balls and just said,
that's fair. Good deep dive on Decky deep dive there.
the triple D.
Brian, respond to that or build on that. What do you have for us?
No, I think it's, when it happened, I was a little bit like, I mean, Madison was doing his full like magician thing out there, and I thought it was interesting. Good. Yeah, I mean, so and I saw that I went and I saw it on Reddit somewhere or something, and then I went and actually verified it. Madison only played 45 minutes, and he still created more chances than anybody else in the Premier League last weekend.
Really? He
created 6 scoring chances created, basically, is the Opta name for it. Yeah. He created 6. The next highest person created 5 in a whole game, and he only played 45. So I hope that, like, my only worry about it was like, Madison's like a vice captain. Is this gonna like look weird? Is he gonna take it? I think
he didn't look happy on the bench. He looked flustered.
I mean, it's like everybody wants to play, I mean, like, and and to be almost like singled out as the one to get it, and I can imagine being like, dude, I created 6 chances in 45 minutes. Like, let me go here. Like, let's, But in retrospect, it feels like we had like a 25 or 30% reduction in creativity, but we gained a massive boost in box-to-box defense and just a ridiculous infusion of energy everywhere on the field. And like, that's what we said, I've said this to you guys, like every time I watch Sarr, it just feels like, like that stat that they use in basketball about the plus minus, like I feel like he makes everybody else better. And the only way I can validate that is that they visibly play better and score more when he seems to be out there. I don't know what the advanced stat is on that. I wonder if they have that. I'm gonna have to, now I'm gonna go to FBref and see if I can figure that one out. But it just, I mean, Mike, your first comment, right? That was that, Ange nailed the substitutions. And I think that the score line and the influence on the game, it's hard to argue with. I just wonder if you like, I mean, I guess we're in a position where we're starting to get to what is the regular rotation starting 11. A lot of teams, I think, are still kind of trying to figure that out. I think we're getting close to like, what is the go team? And I think one of the questions for us is generally like, how do you live like with Basuma's influence on final third defensive end of the game? Or the our first third, I guess you would say. And he is so good there. Sarr, so good box to box and in both boxes, frankly. And then can you link like the back four, Basuma, Sarr, and Madison, and still have places left for that's what, 7? I guess you can still play around with, the Son, Solanke, Decky, Johnson kind of action up top, but it's just an interesting rotational question, and frankly, it's an embarrassment of riches that we have. This is a good problem to have. Is how do we fit in all these guys who kick ass in their own individual way?
I think that once we I don't want him to be out of the club because he sucks or like he's a jerk, or just get him out of the club once we find a way to not have to play Timo Werner. I feel bad for the guy because he's just like in a bad run, and by all accounts he's a great guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in that bad run for a long time.
Yeah, I think once Odegaard comes back and maybe we bring in another winger in
playing for Chelsea will do that for you,
But dude, Solanke was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I think I missed it on the initial watch, but on the rewatch, like the things he was doing out there. I mean, a guy who can be so effective and so strong and be like an 8 out of 10, an 8.5 out of 10 without scoring a goal is outrageous. This kid is for real.
Yeah, he does striker things. He does them well. It's cool to watch.
He terrifies people. He terrifies goalkeepers. He terrifies center backs. He terrifies wing backs when he feels like it. I mean, he just is like, because he's relentless. He's quick. He's clever. He's both obviously physical, but also intellectual. Like I think he gets standard like kind of passing regimes at other teams. I'm sure there's tape on that. I think he's the type of guy that would actually try and figure that out. Is my impression. I think it's almost like 4-4-2, The Athletic, a bunch of different people have kind of written roughly the same article, which is Solanke is like genetically engineered for the Ange ball system. Like he and every article has cited exactly what you said, Mike. Off the ball, terrifying press. He's just relentless and clever and physical. Like nobody's pushing him around. Right,
he's a ball winner.
Wins the ball, and then he's got great ball control. And what I think you were the one who pointed this out to me, Mike. I don't know if we were texting or if this was on the pod, but like his expected goals last season and his goal tally were exactly the same.
Right? It's bananas.
He's like, I mean, it's kind of funny, like because we have. I think because we have. For last season, we had the 2 of the top 5 underperformers expected goals versus goals in Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson. How the times have changed on at least one of those. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ryan Mason, apparently. And
yeah.
and then we have Sonny, who we always like to brag is like the most consistent overperformer, expected goals to goals, the greatest finisher in the world. And then you got Solanke, who is like literally, you give the guy a chance, he's going to score it.
He's
If it's a bad chance, he might not. You know,
he's dead nuts every time.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that speaks to like he's in. Like he is fit for this Ange system. I don't know if he's fit for the previous Ange systems. Like previous Ange systems just had a striker up top. They just relied to get him the ball and he shoot the ball and make the goal.
Yeah.
He is a different kind of Ange striker, and I think it has something to do with and I think I think maybe Nathan Clark was talking about how it has to do with the league and what you need to do to change the way you play in it, depending on the league that you're in. So it worked at Celtic. It worked in Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having those quick little strikers who are just fleet of foot, just expected to sit there and score goals. He's expected to do so much more, you know, on top of the fact that he's a pressing monster, on top of the fact that he drops deep and wins balls, and he's physical on defense, and he's all the things that that a certain Florida man, you know, just wasn't.
Couldn't bring himself to be.
He could not bring himself to be a defender, to be to do those things. He was dropping back. He was being a bit of more of a creator toward the end of his tenure here. But like, I think that Solanke's just a different fucking animal, and it's interesting to watch.
Has it occurred to you that like it also seems like these are like like he's a genuinely good dude, you know? Like I feel like he's
like a child.
Well, I mean, in the sense that he just looks invigorated to be out there. You know what I mean? He's like it happened to be, you know, I think it was Winston Churchill said, "I like a man who grins as he goes into battle." You know, and I kind of get that vibe from like Madison too. You know, he always comes out with a swagger, and he is like, "This is gonna be fun, mates." You know, like we're gonna do this. And yeah, I was looking at the squad list, and it's like a whole squad of like, I mean, we know that Ramiro is like actually like an asshole in terms of being like a protective defender and like aggressive and what have you. But I think he also has a rep of being like actually like a super sweet guy and like takes his vice captaincy like really seriously. But I was looking at the whole squad. Who's the closest to being a real proper jerk off? And it's like nobody, you know?
Yeah, Bentancur maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
for a variety of reasons. Yeah, maybe.
We didn't think that before, but
yeah,
you know, his exploits with
I don't know,
with his teammates of, you know, it seems to be an Uruguayan soccer player thing.
Well, at least he hasn't bitten anyone yet. But
yeah, not yet. But
the closest I would say is when Mikey Moore had a hat trick in the U21s last year, and I guess some defender was talking shit to him. He went right up in his face after the third goal, and was like, "What, you want to say that again, motherfucker?" You know.
I mean, I guess that's what you want out of a Mikey Moore, though. Like,
yeah,
like, you know, like he went into those games with Bayern, and he did not back down to Kingsley Coman, right?
Yeah,
he didn't back down. He's like, I don't care who you are, how long you've been playing in the league, and I don't care that I'm 16 years old. I'm going to get back in your face.
Yep.
Hey, you guys want to look ahead quickly? Thursday, we play General Akbar, of Star Wars fame. You like that? See what I did there, Brian? Yeah.
That's Admiral Akbar.
I'm sorry, Admiral Akbar, General Akbar. Yeah,
I was not expecting that.
That's Star Wars light.
What do you think we're gonna see? What do you think we're gonna see lineup wise? I guess is the biggest question.
I will tell you that we are not going to see newly signed Jed Spence.
True,
because he's not in the European. Yeah.
Oh, right, of course.
Right.
I was wait, did he get signed and then has something happened? No, of course he's not on that squad.
Like, will we see Jade Spence? That's what I really want to know.
Yeah.
Which guy are we going to see?
Okay, I see that you like to make fun of Brian for his pronunciation.
Just because he's our boy, that's all.
um, I'll let Brian take it if he wants to go ahead. It sounds like you have something to say.
No, by all means. I think you know, if I last time I looked at this, because I was looking at this because our mutual degenerate gambler friend Trey, I'm sure, is also looking at it. The Paddy Powers of the world have Tottenham as like a decent favorite, even though this is apparently a pretty good team. I have not read a lot about the actual matchup itself, but I think you're going to see the same thing that we've seen in like the club competitions. If it's an opponent where we can get some rest and get some reps in for the kids, I think you're going to see it. I just think that Ange last year, the first thing that he said was about not being in Europe for that season. I looked at it as an advantage. Hey, you're not in Europe. You don't have that pressure. You more time for training. They'll be healthier. The first team will get the system down. And his first reaction was, no, it's terrible, mate. We need reps against good teams. We need to increase like the sample set here. We need to have people be, very comfortable with, how we want to play. And so that it changed my mind. I was intrigued by that. So I'm calling, I think it's going to be, because the kids have generally proved themselves pretty well. I think that they have been a little disjointed. I think that because I don't think it's like a squad that they practice with. I think it's more, it seems like the subtext seems to be that they practice and they'll do like one-offs, like, oh, hey, now Lucas, you come in, or, now Mikey, you come in, or whatever. But it's not like we have like the recently promoted, we have the best teenagers in Europe squad, and then we have the other first team. I just don't think it works like that. So I think that they didn't have like a real rhythm when he's come out with the youth starting. I wonder if they've worked on that since. And I wonder if just like as the season goes on, you're going to start to see those guys just kind of organically gel. But goddamn, Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, Will Lancashire, Mikey Moore, like fucking yes, please. Those guys are kick ass. They're long-term strategic assets, this club. And I'm excited. I'm excited that they have been deemed good enough to like really make an impression. The first team, maybe start for European competitions. Like that's huge. I think
I'm thinking, Brian, we probably see three of those guys: Archie, Bergvall, and Mikey Moore start. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be shocked to see Richarlison get the start at the 9, just because he's back and got.
He didn't get hurt getting.
He didn't get hurt on the head.
Getting not hit in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see his comment?
No.
He commented on one of his buddies' Instagram accounts. And he was like, bro, I chipped a tooth on that play.
No way. Really?
Apparently he lost a tooth, or he had to have a whatever put in. But
what a boner by what's his face. I can't even think of his name now, but yeah. The red card guy.
Yeah.
That guy, the goal scorer red card guy.
Yes. What am I Kudus?
Kudus. It's Kudus.
Kudus.
Mike, you were just letting us struggle, man.
Why blanket. Yeah, thanks, bud.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to see this whole fucking ship fall apart. before I toss you the life raft.
Some men like to watch the world burn.
So for me, this game, this is not a team to be trifled with. I don't think you even need to take Son on the trip with you. Oh no, we're home. We don't have to dress Son. Son can sit up in the stands. So this is a team though that can't be trifled with. Troy Parrott on that team.
Oh right.
Oh, okay.
Troy.
Yeah. It's their 5th in the Dutch Eredivisie right now. Behind all the old standbys, right? So your PSVs, your Ajax, who else? Feyenoord, all up there, Utrecht. So these are the top 4 or 5 teams in that league, and you're getting as Alkmaar, or however you pronounce that, Admiral Akbar. I don't think like you want to go into a competition like this and not get the most points you can get and stay top of that table right off the bat. I think it's a huge advantage that we have being in Europe, playing at home. And I expect that we'll win, but I don't expect it to be easy.
Wow.
Not one bit easy. But I do think that we need a lot of rotation. And I do expect that we're not gonna see a Dougie out there. I think we're gonna see Archie Gray out there starting.
By the way,
I don't think we're gonna see Decky. I think we might see Papsar and Bergvall.
Guess who is leading AZ Alkmaar in goals, expected goals, and expected goals and assists per 90?
Troy Parrott.
Is it
Our
Troy
boy
Parrott?
Troy. Yeah.
Wow, how about that?
So
Very nice.
we knew he wasn't to be trifled with. That is a hard ass Irishman, but still interesting. I didn't know he was doing that well.
Speaking of not to be trifled with, hey Mike, what you drinking?
This beer shall not be trifled with.
There you go.
I'm ready for you, Dave.
Yeah, that one I wasn't as smooth with
No,
that
no.
segue, but you know, it
Um,
was time. You knew it was time. You know how the rhythm goes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. So I'm at the bevy today, and I'm looking through all these beers, and I'm like, I need some like Irish stouts. And I was like, I was like, what is this? I said, oh my god, I didn't actually know this was a thing, or that breweries actually still made this shit. Small beer. So historically speaking, small beer was a beer that was made from the spent grains of the stronger beers, and it was actually it's different than a table beer. A table beer is a lower alcohol beer that's made for sessions or for dinner time, that kind of thing. But especially in the American colonies in the 1700s, small beer was actually even given to children because it was safer to drink than fucking water. So they go anywhere from like 0.6% alcohol all the way up to 2.8. They don't get any higher than 2.8. So there's this company in England that makes it's Small Beer Brewing, and they make small beers. This is a small lager.
Not a particularly clever name, but you know,
2.1% alcohol. Not particularly clever, but
hey, they got their niche. Go with it.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. So typically when I don't necessarily, I thought it was cool and I had to get it because, you know, I think it's even mentioned that John Adams used to have small beers and ciders at his dinner table that the children would drink. They would have 1 to 2 beers every night.
Also very prominent in the
a flagon of cider himself.
Also very prominent in the Patrick O'Brian Master and Commander novels, which take place in the British Navy during the Napoleonic Wars. So
yeah, so that's the other thing, is that it was made for soldiers. It was made for people who could not afford strong beers. So it was made for the peasants and the folks who just, you know, weren't at the top of society at the time. So let's open this up. This is interesting.
All right, I'm sending my.
You're preemptively getting after it there, Brian.
I'm getting ready.
All right, you send into the chat, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, to the WhatsApp chat or this chat.
Do it to the WhatsApp chat. That way,
yeah, because I might end up seeing it. This is deceptively golden. It's got a nice soap
in the Duff mug.
In the Duff mug.
Yeah.
So nice soapy head on it. Looks like it's got some nice lacing. So I'm assuming it's going to be pretty carbonated. The thing that I'm getting straight off the top, it's kind of fruity and floral. It smells really sweet. So like typically with like non-alcoholic beers, it's they're really really sweet because the sugars aren't all fermented. Um, but this looks like maybe they used like a darker malt or grain bill than you normally would use in a non-alcoholic or low alcohol beer. So I don't know. It's 2.1% alcohol. You could probably drink 1,000 of these, but I'm actually interested.
No doubt many have tried.
No doubt. I'm really interested to see how it tastes. So let's get after this.
Brian, what are you enjoying while we wait on Mike to share his?
The platonic ideal of an American Cabernet, the J. Lohr Cabernet.
Oh, very, very, very nice. Ooh, I see.
That face is giving off weird vibes here.
Mm-hmm.
But am I? Maybe I'm gonna do it right now. Listen,
wait. Hold on.
No, I'm gonna give you the player right now.
Okay.
Wait.
It's kind of the.
But that won't the player clue us into your possible rating?
You think my face does?
No, never your face. It's always your words.
So this beer has it's a little bit thin. It's very carbonated. As I was like I said, I would expect a low alcohol beer to be. It's got like a lemony tinge to it. It's got some really nice lacing, good legs, as they would say in the wine world.
Indeed.
Yep.
I kind of like it. It's just a little overcarbonated for me. It's very like soda-y. So, but it does have that lemon tinge to it. It is very floral. It's very light. You could tell there's not a lot of alcohol in it, but it doesn't taste like a non-alcoholic beer.
Gotcha. Understood.
They say it's naturally low in calories, which is also weird for a non-alcoholic beer.
So it's naturally light, would you say?
Naturally light, low in calories, low in carbs,
So it's
but high in carbonation. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.2 on this one.
Oh,
Ryan, I knew that was happening. I knew it as soon as we did it.
I was 3.3. Dave was 3.1.
3.1.
Yeah.
Falling right in the middle.
I knew you were gonna nail it right in the middle there.
But man,
that's pretty dialed in. We'll take that.
It's an unassuming beer. I just like, it's not like a beer that I want to have over and over and over again. I'd have probably a few of these. They're good if you're looking for low alcohol beer and you don't want to get fucking hammered.
Hey, I prefer my beers not make assumptions. I think unassuming is good.
Unassuming.
How about a player with that 3?
Player. I'm gonna. It's the Robbie Keane of beers.
Okay.
It's very unassuming. You don't think of Robbie. You don't often think of Robbie Keane amongst the best, right? He'd score a lot of fucking goals for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
So, good beer, good player.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like one a year for 100 years or something, wasn't it? But...
I think he played for Spurs for like for 7 or 8 years. Probably.
I know,
something like that. But yeah, it did seem like he was on the squad for a long time.
All right, well done, Mikey. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. This is different, Mike. This is like kind of the most different beer I've heard you review, actually.
Mike's making an effort.
I people are sick of hearing like, my wheelhouse. Oh, look where it says right here. It shows a rich biscuit, fresh floral, and citrus characteristics. Refreshingly clean and crisp finish.
Rich Biscuit. That used to be your favorite band, didn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rich Biscuit was better than Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. That's the Limp Bizkit cover band, Rich Biscuit. All right, very nice. Well, hey, why don't we look ahead? Obviously, match Thursday we talked about, and then Palace over the weekend. Any thoughts as we look ahead at that one? Palace always scares me, even when they shouldn't be scary. Did you guys?
Palace is
feel the same
fucking terrible.
That's what I feel like I always think going into those matches, and then something weird happens with a player that shouldn't be doing it to us.
So which player would you expect shouldn't be doing it to us this time. I mean, honestly, like, is it Mateta? Whose
No.
dog is that?
Not mine.
That was Joliet Jake McGurk right there.
Joliet Jake.
Great reference there, buddy. I like it.
That's his legal name. But sorry about that.
Is it gonna be John Philippe Mateta? Is that the one who scares you, or
I don't know if these two guys are both healthy, but Schlupp is always a problem in my mind.
Oh, get out of that fucking town!
All right.
Speaking of getting out of town, as they should have gotten out of that town.
What about Kamada?
Nope.
No. All right.
No, this team is fucking terrible. And knowing that we're probably going to lose 2-1
because Kamada and Schlupp are going to score.
For fuck's sake!
If Jeffrey Schlupp scores, I will.
Jeffrey Schlupp, he does things to us. Brian? Am I dreaming, or like does that happen?
No, it's always somebody like that is that was like a end of transfer window signing from like the Dutch third league that they needed to fill a roster spot and not break the bank. And then that person comes off the bench for an injured star and then has like a goal that people are still talking about like 6 years later. So yeah, that's pretty on brand. Schlupp would be, an appropriate person for that to happen. No, I mean, I have to admit, I knew they were bad this season. I didn't know they were 0-3-5.
Like, yeah, they're not good. Their back line is not good. Eddie Nketiah is not making a lot of hay there. Like they have Ismail Yassar, who was supposed to be a big deal. It turned out to not be. I think a lot of it has to do with their coaching. It also has to do with the fact that Dean Henderson was another guy who never came to fruition. They have Rob Holding in the back.
Rob Holding. How about that? I'm just looking at that. Yeah.
Who's fucking awesome, but like Gay and as they should have gotten the fuck out of there when they could.
I don't know. I just look at this and I say
Chalobah's there too. I don't know if he's healthy, but I mean they're just a middle of the road okay squad. They're not the fun squad that they were last year.
I mean I'm just looking at this and I'm just gonna say it is within the realm of possibility that Jordan Ayew or Eza do a statistically improbable thing, and maybe both of them, and make us really work for a win. That is like an entirely reasonable scenario, I feel.
Yeah, that's fair. Is he healthy? Eza seems to always have something going on. Do we know?
Good question.
Eze's healthy, right? Jordan Ayew is healthy. I don't rate this team, man. I think their defensive back is they're going to come out and they're going to try. They cannot play 5 at the back. If they play 5 at the back, they're going to get fucking busted wide open.
Yeah,
they just cannot compete. And if they try and play wide open, they're just not going to be able to compete with us in the midfield. They have too many guys who like to get out into the wide open and run with the ball, and that's going to create tons and tons of fucking space for Spurs to get into. It's not Crystal Palace that has me worried coming up. I mean, it's just not. I don't rate them. I don't think we should feel uncomfortable at any point in this game.
I would hope. I mean, and also, this is a team that's only scored 5 goals this entire season. Right. I mean, James Maddison created more expected goals in the first half of our last game than Crystal Palace the entire season. So that's a stat that makes me feel good. But is that extra incentive for them to be like, we're just going to put, we're literally just going to have 11 men stand on each other's shoulders in front of goal for 90 minutes in order to get the point. Like, I mean, it's like there's parking the bus. Is this like parking the aircraft carrier? Just like, there's no way anybody's gonna be able to get in.
I don't know. I think with the emergence of Decky, in that midfield spot, I think that you're seeing Spurs being able to break down teams in the box now. I think you're gonna find soon that teams are not going to be able to do that. They're going to have to find another way around it. And as long as we have that good rotation in that midfield with, maybe Decky is the one that comes out next time for Sarr, and Madison stays in, so that they're not in each other's way, that they're both able to do whatever it is that they do. But maybe even Bergvall come in to spell, I think we have good rotation in that midfield. And I think that we have the ability to break down teams in the box now. And I think that's just another piece that Andrew's going to put in. I think people freak out when you have a spell where you lose, 3, 4, or 5 games, and people, or you don't win in 3, 4, or 5 games, and people freak out and start to blame the coach. But I think we're in it for the fucking long haul here.
That is one unifying factor in our next 2 matches is that AZ Alkmaar have lost their last 4 matches in all competitions, and Crystal Palace have drawn or lost their last entire season. So, but I honestly, Mike, I mean, like what you're saying, I do actually agree with you, and it feels I get less nervous that we're gonna have remember, was it FA Cup game last season where Pedro Porro scored that ridiculous goal from like middle of nowhere in the rain. Yeah. And we had like no business actually winning that game because we just like could not break down that
fucking terrible
action. Yeah, it was so bad. But this like almost like tiki-taka shit that they're starting to do in the box, like this like give and go, like 3-part give and go that ends up being a goal is qualitatively different than anything we were doing last season.
It's that little Decky back heel flip thing that he does now.
But it's like it's everybody. I mean, even Udogi's in on that action, right? And then you've got guys like Tiki Taka. Oh, it gets blocked a little and ricochets out towards the top of the box, and then you have Yves Bissouma taking a rocket shot like he did last week, right? So I mean, it's just like
was from Udogi too, right? So
yeah,
I mean, I have blamed Udogi for not being great in the final third this year, and he takes it. I think he thinks a little bit too much of himself defensively sometimes to be able to take a guy on, and which led to that wide open goal that West Ham scored on us. But I mean, I'm glad we beat Wet Spam.
Wet Spam.
But we do have these 2 games coming up, but I think that like. And you can't obviously overlook them, but we have a tough run of games coming up. We got City in the 4th round. We got Aston Villa coming up, and then who do we have in the? Oh shit! Who do we have after that?
City. We got Brighton.
City, Villa, Galatasaray.
Yeah, they're not going to be easy.
Yeah, they don't screw around, and that's away.
Then we have City again.
Then
the only game that looks like it's a sure win is Ipswich. It's sandwiched in all of that shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got some tough sledding coming up here, and I think it's important that we get some wins going into these games, and I think Admiral Akbar and
you like it?
I'm just gonna say it now. I'm leaning into that shit.
I'm never every time anyone says anything about the Netherlands, I think I'm gonna immediately think of AZ Alkmaar and Admiral Akbar. Perfect. So thank you for that.
I'm here for
and and the Crystal Palace, which is a lovely restaurant at Disney World, Florida. So
nice. Hey, it's that time, boys. Closing thoughts. Brian, what do you have for closing thoughts, or what do you still have on that yellow memo pad that you have to keep your
a lot less than last time. A lot less than last time.
All right.
But
the legal pad.
2 very quick thoughts. One is someday I want to go back and move to London for 6 months and do interviews with every player involved in that Brighton game, just to figure out what the ever loving fuck happened in that game, and what was the reaction afterwards, etc. At the moment, given the West Ham turnaround, because even in the first half, I know it was they let up the early goal, 18th minute or something. Pretty quickly fired back. And then, Mike, I'm kind of with you. I was like, yeah, I just feel like these guys are in trouble now. I think this is like the storms are coming. I don't think the West Ham can handle it. And I was right. And so that's nice. I'm hoping that the second half of every game for the rest of the season, every Tottenham player is going to be thinking about what a shambles that Brighton game was and how it felt like they semi-knowingly gave it away, right? It just was defeat from the jaws of victory, and it was embarrassing. It was like one of the worst Tottenham games I've watched in a long time. And I otherwise am so loving this team, and they're so much fun to watch. And that was just brutal. And you could feel it. It just, I don't know what it was. I don't think Andrew knows what it was. I don't know what the hell happened, but I just hope that it is dug a psychic hole in every player so deep that when they're thinking about letting up in the second half, that they think, no, we're not. There will never again be another fucking Brighton game. Nice. Other thing is just very quick. This feels right. I saw somebody mention it in like a comment on Reddit or something, but and then I actually looked it up. Top 3 teams in Europe for chances created: Barcelona, PSG, and Tottenham Hotspur. That is perfectly fine company for us to be in to have a hell of a season. And given that we've got people who are, really good at converting those expected goals, like we've said, Solanke, Sonny is always consistent. And even, Johnson, is just, as we know, 7 out of 8, right? 7 goals out of 8 matches in all competitions for him. He is on fire. Decky's killing it. It's not surprising that the aggregate effect is that, I think it's fun for us to keep in mind, because I feel like we get into the slog of only in 6th place and always the 6th best team, and whatever. Fuck that shit. We're literally the 3rd best team in Europe right now in terms of the biggest advanced stat in the world. Only thing we're not in 3rd place for is total points, and I think that how good we are at creating goal scoring opportunities, as proven by the data, is going to intersect with everybody just getting more and more comfortable, staying healthy, better squad rotation. Our wildly talented youngins getting the experience that they need and getting more comfortable on big stages. And I think it's going to be a hell of a season. I really think this is I'm not going to say we're definitely winning a trophy, because that feels like a jinx, but I'm just going to say I think this is going to be a season that we're going to remember.
I like that. Mike, you echoing that optimism? Where
First of all, I would love to applaud Brian on the shirt tonight. That is one of my favorite kits. It reminds me of a young HK10. It reminds me of a young Delhi. It reminds me of it's really, for me, a Moussa Dembele shirt.
Yes. This is actually this is a Prince Harry of Kane jersey, but still.
Okay, very nice, very nice. My son has one with no number on it. Same kit. However, leading into that Moussa Dembele comment, or coming out of it, I should say, for anybody who gave me some shit on this fucking podcast for saying that Dejan Kulusevski was verging on Moussa Dembele territory as far as his work on the ball, his creativity, his strength on the ball. I've got some fucking stats for you, and I've got some fucking stats for our other friends in our little gambling group, Brian.
I was gonna say
they're gonna fucking
the knives are out, motherfuckers.
They would make fun of me and terrorize me over this. Dejan Kulusevski is one of the top 3 players in Europe right now. And here are the stats that prove it. Most key passes in Europe, first. Most progressive runs in Europe, first. Most accelerations, first in Europe. Most deep completions, first in Europe. Most dribbles per 90, first. Most offensive duels per 90, first. This player is one of the top players in all of world soccer right now.
Quick question. Ignorance speaking here. What's an acceleration? What does that stat measure?
That's I'm sure that stat. To tell you the truth, I'm not exactly positive,
Come on.
but I'm going to tell you it's probably an acceleration, moving with the ball from a standstill.
Hold on.
Okay. Yay. Hey,
Receiving the pass and moving forward.
Isn't that soccer?
No,
So
not always.
He's the most soccer according to that stat.
Hey, listen. That's not actually always the plan in soccer.
To receive the ball and move.
Have you ever seen
the new Stephen Colbert book? I am soccer, and so can you.
You guys can make fun of me all you fucking want.
No, I'm not making fun of you. It's
No,
just that stat.
No, you are making fun of me.
No, I'm making fun of that stat name. Whoever came up with that stat is like, it's like the duels one. Like, show me duels one, great, but give me the number to compare that against. Like, what's the average for other guys when they show those stats and they say, oh, 3 aerial duels won, compared to what? Give me something.
What was your velocity? Tell me the number.
The acceleration. What is the acceleration stat?
It's the rate at which player increases their speed, whether it's a sprint or change direction to get into position.
Hey. Okay.
So, that's a stupid stat.
It's
Retract that one, Mike. Keep going, but retract
it's not
that
a stupid
one.
stat.
It's a stupid stat. Everybody else is decelerating, I presume.
I mean, acceleration is important in terms of like overall total pace, right? I mean, so that's why like Mickey is such a freak, because he both has, for a lot of those big lanky guys, normally it takes a while to get to their top speed.
Clearly,
but
he's not enough of a freak, because Decky's got the market cornered on accelerations.
We're gonna do an advanced stats session next time I'm on the pod. I think
that'd be helpful.
Just everybody pick out, like we'll do a little overview, and then everybody picks out their favorite one, and we'll do a deep dive on some exceptional aspect of Tottenham Hotspur.
Brian, so yeah, the next one is offensive duels. The next one is offensive duels.
All right, very good.
So offensive duels proves that he can't have the ball taken off of him.
Dude, I wasn't critiquing that stat.
No, you are. You're all
that is actually a very Musa
You're
Dembele
making
stat.
fun of. You're making fun of me for looking into these fucking stats.
I'm making fun of whoever created the acceleration stat as a thing. Whoever said we're going to talk about sport and guys running faster. From what
that's what sport is, though.
Like, aren't you always accelerating?
That's one of the most important parts of sport, though.
So, right. So everybody does it.
But deceleration is also important too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're Lucas Moura.
Redonkulous, dude. Redonkulous.
Well,
what else you got, Mike? What else you got? I want to hear more of your gambling stats.
No, that's fucking it. I'm done.
Shut him down.
No, I'm not talking to you guys anymore.
Guess we hit the brakes on this one, didn't we?
God damn it.
What else you got, Mike? You got something else in that?
No, he's just one of the top 3 players in Europe, and anybody who says I'm fucking crazy, like, sure, Vinny Jr. can score a goal. Vinny Jr. is fast. Vinny Jr. is fucking really good.
Well, I told you my Venezuelan buddy, who is like, he literally said about once a week, I got a text. He goes, I don't know how the hell this is happening. Like, for Kulusevski, he's like, he was so bad with us. He's like a different human being. It's like, does he have a twin brother? Because it's the only explanation for how freaking.
No, Deli does though. Deli has a twin brother.
Oh well, but I mean, he's like, people who knew him in Italy are like, what the ever loving, like, who is this guy? This is not the guy that we knew.
This is the thing that we've been seeing throughout his time in international soccer. Is that and now that he's in the midfield, this is what he's been saying for forever, right? And it's that he doesn't necessarily like to play on the wing. He played on the wing when he came in under Conte, and he was kind of a revelation because of the acceleration. aspect. He was able to get down the line. He was able to get to the touch line and put a cross in or score a goal. And he did that pretty easily and pretty quickly. And he had, and he kind of captured our hearts and minds, right? But the next season, as Conte added more and more shit into the system, it slowed him down, and it slowed his progression down in that system. And he wasn't able to do the same things that he was doing before, right? Now he's back into a natural position.
I can buy this.
Yeah,
where he wants to play.
I think honestly that plus Ange being a good kind of man manager, giving him a lot of self-confidence and saying you're an important part of the system, and he just, by his own admission to that Swedish newspaper the other day, and only Ali Gold could, use Google Translate that well to read this article. But he said he basically didn't take a summer vacation. He just he worked his, there we go. That's half my blood right there.
I got my Decky international shirt on right
awesome.
Now. Very nice.
But the guy, he wants it. He wants it. And he's going out there and he's taking it. That's our boy. I'm happy about it.
Yeah. You know what? And I love it. He reminds me of one of my favorite Lakers, Pau Gasol. He goes out there and he plays 5 minutes of a game and looks like he's been on a fucking 6-day bender. Because he puts it all out there. He just puts it all out there.
Mike, you ever see that Kobe clip from the Olympics when Kobe's like, "I'm going to run through Pau Gasol on the first play."
Yeah,
the very first play of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Love that clip.
That's where he's a fucking Mamba.
Well done. Well done. All right. As we wrap things up, Brian, I'm not sure if you can do this, but I'm going to throw this one to you. If you were Steve right now, is there anything you would say to people as we were walking out the door?
Oh, I'll do the nice. I'll do the PG-13. No, fuck it. Don't be an asshole.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
And stay safe out there. Right?
Oh, that was mine. He stole mine.
Oh, sorry.
Well done, Brian. Well done. How about you, Mike? What would you have to say to people?
Well, Brian just took it. So I'm gonna say up the Spurs.
Let's do it.
And Tottenham Hotspur action. It's and It's stopping. It's supposed to be stopping. Something went wrong.
Something went wrong.
This
there,
is
yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank